to address us and thereafter release the results. Karibu Waziri.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. The Principal Secretary, State Department of Early Learning and Basic Education of the Ministry of Education, Dr. Belio Kipsang, the Honorable Abdul Samad, Sharif Nasir, MP from Vita, the Chairperson, the Kenya National Examinations Council, Professor George Magoha, the Chief Executive Officer, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Masharia, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya National Examinations Council, Dr. Masi Karogo, NEC Council members who are present here with us this afternoon, senior officials from the Ministry of Education, representatives from the teachers' unions, NAT and KUPET, the Kenya Private Schools Association, the Kenya National Parents and Teachers Associations, the heads of associations for primary and secondary schools present, our host, Sister Ruth Mchoki, members of the media fraternity, parents who are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the release of the 2018 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination results. The first one since I assumed office in February of this year. I'm therefore honored to complete this critical process in the schooling lives of 1,052,364 young candidates, the highest number of candidates in the last decade. We did it in record time too, and we are happy to help our children in their transition to the next level of education. Ladies and gentlemen, I commend the Kenya National Examinations Council, the Teacher Service Commission, the entire multi-agency coordination team comprising the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior, and ICT for efficient and purposeful execution of this national exercise. I also thank teachers and parents who played a big role in preparing the candidates to sit for the examinations. Most importantly, I congratulate the KCPE class of 2018 for their dedication, for their rigor, for their enthusiasm during the examination process. I interacted with many of them when I visited their schools during the year, and especially during the 3 examination days. I have no doubt in my mind, ladies and gentlemen, that these young men and women will do well in the next stages of their education. Indeed, and in the words of Theodore Roosevelt, the credit belongs to you. It's only you who know the great enthusiasm and the great devotion of this worthy cause. I hope that today you appreciate the greatness of your achievements and the promise of your transition. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 exams marked the 3rd year since the Ministry of Education launched deliberate and concrete new measures to end a culture of cheating that had become the hallmark of our national examinations. Since then, we have kept learning and improving our systems to seal all possible loopholes and improve these systems to ensure that they're not exploited by cheating cartels. As a result of these measures, the 2018 national examinations were conducted on one of the most level playing fields ever. We have completely wiped out cases where examinations were leaked with much abandon. And once again, I want to assure you today that none of the 9 papers administered in KCPE was leaked. Ladies and gentlemen, the few cases of attempted cheating through early exposure at the examination centers were all nipped in the bud, and we dealt with them decisively and conclusively. These results are therefore a pure and true reflection of hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most notable aspects of the 2018 KCPE administration was the laudable involvement of all government officials in the monitoring exercise. His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto physically led the multi-agency coordination team by visiting examination centers to assure candidates that the examinations were fair and that all of them would transition to secondary school. My cabinet colleagues, chief administrative secretaries and principal secretaries also crisscrossed our beautiful country to ensure that the examination administration ran smoothly and that all the rules and regulations that were set up were actually adhered to. This unprecedented coordinated engagement guaranteed that the reach of high-level monitoring and motivation apparatus to all the 47 counties, including hard-to-access sub-counties in expansive, arid, and semi-arid lands. We in government have delivered as one. A few people have questioned the essence of this level of monitoring in a manner to suggest no value at all. A few years ago, when examinations were leaked left, right, and center, there was hue and cry that the government in general and the Ministry of Education in particular was slipping on the job and leaving the country's academic qualifications exposed to ridicule and rigorous scrutiny by others. As a result, Kenyan graduates were shunned by regional and international employers for perceived weaknesses in the conduct of our examinations. It's therefore surprising to all of us that the ministry's unrelenting resolve to restore utmost esteem to Kenyans and Kenya's academic papers threatens some of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to make a firm assertion this morning regarding this issue. I'm extremely proud of the gains that we have made by safeguarding integrity against dishonesty. I'm proud of the future we have created and continue to create for our children. We have restored the international standing of Kenya's primary and secondary school certificates, the culture that is emerging and being championed by candidates whose value for education is sheer grit is encouraging, and it will pay off in the long run. I want to assure you that we will not relent. We will not change. Our feet will remain on the pedal, for we know that it's useless for us to deliver papers to examination centers and leave them to criminals to organize mini command centers intended purely to contaminate individual candidates' lives and the collective future of our country. My duty to our children and to the future of this country is clear vindication that no matter the attempted destruction from quarters that abhor change and glorify impunity, change has indeed come and will continue to come until we have completely broken the curse of examination cheating. Ladies and gentlemen, furthermore, the ministry has done a cost-benefit analysis and concluded that the cost of administering national examinations is far much lower compared to the shame, the ridicule, the indignity, and the potential joblessness that we subject millions of our children whose results are either cancelled due to cheating or whose certificates stand to be frowned upon by all and sundry. The opportunity cost scenario must make sense to all of us. We will invest a little more to teach our children the desired ethos, the values that we need, and patriotism, and we will do this at an early age. We have no apologies to make, ladies and gentlemen, and we expect that the short, medium, and long-term results will justify the need for continued vigilance. I believe that the basic value system of a country comes from the system of education. Ladies and gentlemen, over the 3 years of KCPE, the country woke up to the reality that the rate of teenage pregnancies in the country is puzzlingly high. Initial reports suggested that only about 9 cases of births involving candidates took place during the 3 days of KCPE. To understand the depth of this national challenge, I ordered the Quality Assurance and Standards Directorate in the ministry to work with relevant departments and give me a report for further action. Although the team has yet to finalize its report, preliminary statistics actually show that the magnitude of the problem is far bigger than we had initially thought. We are staring a national crisis in the face. I have directed the team to expand the scope of the analysis to complete the survey in all primary and secondary schools in the country across a 3-year period, 2016 to 2018. I wish to caution the country that the problem of underage pregnancies must not be viewed as a burden of the Ministry of Education alone. We in the ministry broke the silence. It's a multi-sectoral challenge that calls for concerted efforts across a broad spectrum of prayers for it to be stemmed. The law, ladies and gentlemen, is clear on defilement, and none of us, is above the law. We're dealing with a complex issue, and we will work with all relevant government agencies to effect the urgent changes that are required. The Teacher Service Commission has taken firm and decisive action, as you have heard, against teachers found culpable of defiling learners. I want to thank Dr. Macharia for the really quick action that she took. There is also a standing ministerial team finalizing standard operating procedures to be rolled out in schools to increase safety and security. The PS has referred to that. We must and will make schools safe and secure zones for every child in our country. In addition, I call on parents, guardians, and members of the community to play the role in inculcating good behavior and protecting our children. We must reject the individualism of child responsibility and honor the wisdom of our ancestors that it takes a village to raise a child. We all have a responsibility to protect God's gifts. I particularly appeal to parents with children who walk to and from school to pay particular attention to the time these children leave home. I issued clear guidelines a few weeks ago on schooling time, and I expect those guidelines to be followed to the letter. We will not compromise the safety of our learners for a few extra hours of tuition. I'm going to repeat that. We will not compromise the safety of our children for a few extra hours of tuition that actually does not help them. Most of our children are falling prey to pedophiles and opportunists. I also wish to reiterate that holiday tuition is still prohibited. Stern action will be taken against persons who go against this directive. Parents, it's holiday time. And I have to confess, I'm totally shocked by the clips that I have seen of young children in discourse. I'm shocked. I'm totally shocked. How don't you know where your 12-year-old is in the afternoon? How don't you know that? Why would you allow your daughter or son, for that matter, to be exposed to these really dangerous habits of going out in the afternoons for disco, partaking drink and drugs, right? And engaging, actually, in acts that all of us would be ashamed not only to engage in, but to actually see. And so I'm really tired of getting these clips of our young children, right, in these discotheques. You need to take responsibility for these children. Honestly, it's actually a totally embarrassing situation, and it's a shame. We have let them down. We have refused to teach them. We have refused to guide them. We have placed other activities that we are undertaking above the right of these children to a normal childhood. Because these discos are not normal childhood at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for both our young boys and girls. And I get these clips every single day. It's happening all over our country. And so I actually challenge our parents to ensure that they know where their children are during the holiday break. 2 months is not too long to look after your child. It is not. It's not too long. And it's also not too long, right, to actually lay a good foundation for these children. So I think all of us must take this responsibility seriously. If we find children outside at a certain time, it doesn't really matter whether it's your child or not. If that child comes from your community, send them home. Send them home and talk to their parents. Save them now. It's still possible to do that. In a few years, it won't be possible to save them. It will be too late already. And so again, as my colleagues have done, I'm truly appealing to our parents. Let's take our responsibility seriously, and especially during this holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, the candidates whose results we are releasing today will form the second cohort to be admitted to secondary schools under the 100% transition policy. The ministry has already conducted a mapping of vacancies in all categories of schools. We're ready to admit more learners under the free-day secondary education program. The ministry will work with relevant agencies to ensure that no candidate misses a place in secondary school. We will work with relevant authorities and agencies to ensure that all our candidates find a place in secondary school. Our Basic Education Principal Secretary, Dr. Kipsang, has already released a circular outlining details of the program. I'm happy to announce that the ministry has now managed to stamp out cases in which private schools operated multiple examination centers with the aim of engaging in unethical practices meant to enable them record favorable rankings in our national examinations. In this scheme, the schools registered students considered brighter in separate centers while leaving those viewed as weaker in other centers. This practice has been addressed and the affected schools have been listed for action. It's a directive of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta that all candidates, parents, and guardians break for the Christmas festivities, having already known the schools to which the candidates have been admitted. As a result, the ministry's relevant departments have put in place all mechanisms to ensure that the selection exercise is completed as quickly as possible. We will launch the Form 1 selection exercise on Monday, the 3rd of December, 2018. I want to clearly state that there will only be one selection process. There will be no second selection. We will do it once, and we will do it well. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I wish to focus on the actual 2018 KCPE examination results. The 2018 KCPE examination was conducted professionally between the 30th of October and the 1st of November 2018. A total of 183,497 contracted professionals, including 27,354 supervisors, 65,107 invigilators, 54,322 security officers, 27,161 center managers, 918 examination management directors, 1,844 security officers manning containers, and 6,791 drivers were deployed into the examination administration team. A total of 1,052,364 candidates sat the 2018 KCPE examination. I'll repeat that. A total of 1,052,364 candidates sat the 2018 KCPE examination. Of this, 527,294, which translates into 50.1%, were boys. So again, 527,294, which translates into 50.1%, were boys. 525,070, which translates into 49.9%, are girls. In the 2017 KCPE, 993,718 candidates sat the exam. It means that the candidature increased by 58,626, or 5.9% in 2018 when compared to 2017. The percentage increase in the number of female candidates is 6.9, and it was slightly higher than that of male candidates, which was 5.72. An analysis of candidature trends by gender in the last 5 years indicates that the percentage increase in the number of girls has consistently been higher than that of boys over this period. 23 counties out of our 47 counties registered more female candidates compared to male. These 23 counties that actually deserve our commendation and recognition are the following: Kakamega, Nairobi, Meru, Bungoma, Vihiga, Siaya, Kitui, Embu, Kisumu, Makueni, Machakos, Nakuru, Elgeyo Marakwet, Kisii, Nyamira, Tharaka Nithi, Kericho, Uasin Gishu, Kirinyaga, Trans Nzoia, Nandi, Mombasa, and Bomet. Tumjipige makofi. Congratulations. The number of candidates who were absent decreased by 14.18%, from 9,726 in 2017 to 8,347 in 2018. I've asked the Quality Assurance and Standards Directorate to conduct a fresh audit to track the candidates who are absent, to account for each and every one of them. In terms of counties and number of candidates, 4 counties have continuously had the largest number of candidates. These are Nairobi with 59,302, Nakuru with 52,910, Kakamega, which is my home, with 50,860, and Bungoma with 48,001. We also have Kiambu with 42,000. Performance of candidates. In the 2018 KCPE examination, the overall performance has improved compared to last year. Analyses show that since the new tough measures meant to end cheating were first implemented in 2016, the performance, which was lowest in 2016, has started rising. A clear indicator that teachers are now seriously focused on their work, and that candidates also work hard in class, knowing that only hard work will count, and not the occasional cheating that had become common in some centers. I also note that female candidates performed better than their male counterparts in English, Kiswahili, and Kenyan Sign Language. I'll repeat that. I also note that female candidates performed better than their male counterparts in English, in Kiswahili, and in Kenyan Sign Language. On the other hand, male candidates performed better than their female counterparts in mathematics, in science. You know, the chairman should be clapping for everybody. So male candidates performed better than their female counterparts in mathematics, in science, social studies, and religious education. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, the top candidate scored 453 marks. So we had 2 candidates that scored 453 marks. I'm happy to note that the number of candidates scoring 400 and above marks in 2018 has shot up significantly, a clear indicator that the number of quality grades is rising. The number of candidates scoring 400 marks and above rose to 12,273, which translates into 1.17%, from 9,846 last year, which actually translated to less than 1%. The number of quality grades too has improved in the other mark ranges. I wish to commend all teachers, parents, and candidates for this good showing, which must be sustained in the coming years. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will go through a very, very short table, basically to give you an indication of how well our candidates did. And I'd like to say before I even go further that over 50% of the candidates scored over 250 marks. So these results are actually ones that all of us as parents and teachers should be proud of. So in the 401 to 500 range, this year we had 12,273. As I said, last year we had 9,846. In 2016, we even had lower figures, and that was 5,143. 301 to 400 marks, we had 228,414, which is higher than what we had in 2017. 2017, 307. So in 2017, we had 217,307, 21,007 and 307. In 2016, we had 207,141. Between 201 and 300, we had 574,927, which is also a very good number. 101 to 200, we had 234,573. And between 0 and 100, we had very few. We had about 2,177. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've got all those figures right. I hope you have. Have you? You get them? Okay. So we'll repeat them. So the number of candidates scoring 400 marks and above, 12,273. The number of candidates scoring 301 to 400, 228,414. 201 to 300 marks, 574,927. 101 to 200, 234,573. And from 1 to 100, 2,177. So I hope you've got those numbers down now. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, the ministry continued implementing deliberate interventions aimed at enabling special needs children excel in their learning, in line with His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta's commitment to provide access to quality education for children with special needs. To this end, I wish to announce that a national psychoeducation assessment and research center has been completed at the Kenya Institute of Special Education, Nairobi, and it's ready for launch. Additionally, we prepared and administered special national examination papers for candidates with special needs in line with His Excellency the President's directive. We have also increased financing for special and integrated schools. This year, 2,495 candidates with special needs sat the KCPE examination, with the highest candidate scoring 446 marks, which is an improvement compared to last year's results. Last year, 2,038 special needs candidates sat the examination, with the top candidate scoring 426. So this year, we have 446. This improvement is testimony to the fact that special needs children have been given a fair and conducive environment. And when that happens, they excel in their studies. We stepped up measures against cheating, and starting with a pre-examination monitoring exercise that all of you, I think, were privy to in the second term. So we started this process with a pre-examination monitoring exercise in the second term. As a result, most of the would-be cases of cheating were prevented. However, during the monitoring exercise, our vigilant teams discovered 4 candidates guilty of impersonation. These 4 will have their results cancelled. They will, however, be allowed to sit for their exams next year. I wish to inform all candidates and their parents or guardians that the KCPE examination results will be collected by respective schools from the sub-county education offices. Candidates should therefore collect their results from their respective examination centers. Individual candidates' results can also be accessed by sending a candidate's index number through the short message service to the following number: 20076. 20076. This service will be available immediately after this event. Head teachers will be required to download and print the online result slips for candidates in their schools. They will also be required to authenticate the same before they're released to parents, to guardians, or to candidates. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful journey, and I'm truly grateful to all my colleagues, to teachers, parents, and to the candidates for having allowed us to have this amazing journey from when we started in 2016 to where we've actually arrived today. I'd also like to say that we have made progress, and we hope that very soon cheating will truly become a thing of the past, and that no parent will give away their hard-earned money to buy fake papers, because I think we've proved this time around that anything that was out there was actually fake, and that none of our exam papers was leaked. So I'd like to thank you very, very much, and to now declare the 2018 KCPE examination results officially released. I wish all our candidates success in their future endeavors, and I'd like to ask you to stand up so that we can observe a minute of silence for the candidates from Alliance, Nikita Kayer, who passed away, but for all the other candidates who passed away during this examination season as well. Thank you very, very much. Mungu awabariki wote. Asanteni.